Okay, welcome to Bali Boy TV, and today we are joined by top political ranked fellow, and let me give him a chance to introduce himself. Yes.
Okay, Fabian Olal. I am a student at National University pursuing mathematical science with IT, and I also take a diploma in political analysis.
Okay, Mr. Fabian, with less than 8 days, the IEBC Director for Legal and Public Affairs, Mr. Crispin Owera, has announced that on 28th April, all political parties and coalition must have nominated their deputy president. And today we are going to look at some of potentials in whom, as in how some of potential to be deputy of Mr. Raila Odinga. And we have some potential like Hassan Joho, Liki Nanjui, yeah, Peter Kenneth, Martha Karua, Kalonzo Musyoka, and so many others. So today we are going to be concerned with 5 of them. So let me ask you. Today we're seeing that the AZIMIO-OKA Kenya, they are holding their meeting today at KICC, and one of the outcome, we expect them to nominate their deputy president. Do you see Joho getting a chance there?
Okay, when we focus on Joho can make a good deputy president. But you see, Azimio-La Umoja and One Kenya Alliance is a coalition. And when we narrow down to ODM, you see when Raila is the president and we get maybe a deputy whom we don't know, the government must be formed. And the government will be 50-50. So I think the likes of Hassan Joho, there are some of the people who will take the ministries, because you see his time as the governor has expired. So the only thing that is remaining, he can be a minister or he can be a cabinet secretary.
But Mr. Fabian, when I look at Joho is a kingpin in Coast. He has all the votes. He controls the votes at the Coast.
Okay, the problem is not controlling the votes.
Yes.
The problem is power sharing. You see, Joho, one of the main reasons why I disqualify him, despite the fact that he is very competent and can attract votes, it is because he is in ODM. So we cannot have the president from ODM and we have the deputy president from ODM. That one alone disqualifies Joho, despite the fact that he is very competent. Joho can only become a deputy president when he joins maybe UDA. Yeah.
UDA.
But in One Kenya Alliance, Azimio, no. Yeah.
So let me take you back and look at this fellow called Peter Munya. He was a mayor. He was once a mayor governor. Second, he was elected or nominated to be in the Ministry of Agriculture. Can he be a deputy president for Raila?
Okay, first of all, Peter Munya, I don't think he qualifies to be the deputy president, because Peter Munya has been a no-show in Kenyan politics for the past 5 years, because even the ministry that is in, he was nominated. There was no influence of the people to put him in that cabinet secretary. So I think he is not that influential as at now. He will start from zero, but we want people who maybe had been elected who are still in touch with the crowds. Yeah.
But he has a track record. See what we are experiencing in the agriculture ministry.
Okay, track record. We cannot talk about track record because we see, yes, he has a track record, but who placed him there? Which criteria was used to place him there? Because we have many competent people who can be there, but now we want the person who was put by the people, so that's the same person who was put by the people can also support the person that is going to deputize.
So do you mean when by coincidentally Peter Munya becomes the deputy president, will he be a project maybe of Uhuru Kenyatta, or what do you mean?
I think as at now I will say that one will be favoritism, because we want someone who is being pushed by the people.
Yes.
Like for example, you saw people have been demonstrating that, we want Martha Karua, we want Peter Kenneth. We want people who is being driven by the people themselves, not by kingpins. Yeah.
Okay. So when we still in Peter Munya, when we look at, you mentioned some names like Martha Karua, whatever. But when you look at Peter Munya and Martha Karua, they all come from Central Region, particularly Mount Kenya. And for the past days, we've seen that there was a fight between whom should deputy come from. Must deputy president come from Mount Kenya region?
Okay, in this case, since the Mount Kenya region are not having a presidential candidate, I think for Azimio to attract votes from the Mount Kenya region, they must put the Mount Kenya region on the table. And putting them in the table means we invite one of their aspirants to deputize the Azimio, so that at least when the Mount Kenya people are voting, they see their person there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And on I think it was on a Tuesday, they led by Charity Ngilu under the Azimio Women League, they say that they can't agree. There must be 50-50 per share, and that is, if the deputy president is a lady, then a president must be a man. So in this scenario, I see Martha Karua has a chance of becoming the deputy president. Or what can you say about that?
Okay, when you talk of women and men, the gender equality, I think those are some of the matters that normally arise when the election are approaching. So those ones we can put them as the matters arising, but we have to focus on who can bring votes. Yes, Martha Karua can bring votes, but now we don't want to look too much into gender equality, but we want to look on the strategies that one can use to ascend into power. Yeah.
But the spokesman of ODM campaigning team, that is Professor Makau Mtua, said that any person who might be wishing to be the deputy president must have three factors. That he talked about the integrity and must have numbers, and lastly, it must present the face of Kenya. So when I'm looking at Martha Karua as an individual, he has everything. He's a national figure. She's a national figure, that lady. What can you say about that?
Okay, Martha Karua, looking at her,
yes,
she is highly integral, and again, she is able to attract many votes. That one we are not sure, because Martha Karua is a political activist, and you know very well that political activists, they normally dictate everything that the government says. And when they dictate, some people who are also dictating the government will also support them. So we are not sure whether he is having genuine numbers or imaginary numbers. But so far so good, she can be the running mate.
Okay, thank you. And we are continuing with this discussion. You can channel your views in our WhatsApp numbers. That is 0700138267. So we are going to look at Kalonzo factor in Azimio 1 Kenya. This man he's a man with stand. He's shaking. When we talk about earthquake in Azimio, Kalonzo is number one. Can he get a chance of becoming the deputy president to Raila?
Okay, I think Kalonzo Musyoka is a very fine guy. And Kalonzo Musyoka, at times, is a very straightforward man. But when you look at Kalonzo Musyoka's last remarks, he said that he will never deputize Raila. Raila is the one to deputize him. But you see, concerning the agreement that they signed in the previous years, was that when Raila becomes the president, Raila will deputize him or will endorse him. But Raila never was the president. And therefore, the conditions necessary for Raila to support him were not qualified. So I think as at now, the main thing Kalonzo Musyoka should do is not to pester Raila for becoming the deputy. Kalonzo Musyoka should be the kingpin. Those are the people who are supposed to arrange the government. Those are the people who are supposed to provide the strategies.
But who is controlling? Who is controlling Kambani region currently? We see Governor Charity Ngilu, Alfred Mutua and Kivuta Kibwana are united against Kalonzo Musyoka. What can you say? Because they argue that they're the ones who brought Kalonzo to the Azimio, and Kalonzo wants to demoralize them. What can you say?
Okay, Kalonzo was not brought into the Azimio by those three fellows. Kalonzo was brought to Azimio by OKA leaders. And there is this notion that we have to stop. it is not Kalonzo who controls the votes from the guys. Those guys are the ones who are controlling Kalonzo. That is why you see, from one point to another, he has been making different remarks. So it is the people who control the leaders. It is not the leaders who are controlling the people. That is why you see the lady Kate Waruguru.
Yes.
She lost because the people were expecting that she was going to join Azimio. But since she did not join Azimio, she lost. Look at the case of Sosion. The people did not want Sosion to be nominated with ODM ticket. And despite the fact that he came back to UDA, he was still disowned. So this notion that the politicians are the one controlling a geographical area, it is very wrong. It is those people who are controlling those politicians. And if they cannot go into the desired directions, they are disowned.
But when, was it yesterday, I saw Governor Kivuta Kibwana saying that because Kalonzo has, the Kalonzo's coming into Azimio has brought many problems to the Ukambani region. So he decides to get out of that national figure from the Azimio, and now he's concerned with the county politics. What can you say about that? Is it because of Kalonzo's influence in the AZIMIO-OKA?
Okay, the people of Ukambani have been supporting Raila. And you see, whenever any politician talks, those are things that we call opinions. You know, opinions and reality are totally different things. So that one was an opinion, that one was not a reality. Yeah.
And yes, I've got a question from one of our fans, and she says, ask the visitor that if what culprit or what consequences will Raila have if he doesn't choose a running mate from Central? What impact will the Azimio One Kenya have if their deputies do not come from Central Kenya?
Okay, that is a very good question. So Raila does not need to have, or it is not a must, Raila to have a running mate from Mount Kenya. Whatever Kenyans need now is a transparent election. Because what you've seen from the previous leaders, they've been mouth-diarrheaing that the election was stolen. When they go to the IEBC, they change their words. That one is a clear indication that the elections in Kenya for the past 5 decades has never been transparent. Whatever we need is a transparent election, and Raila, even if he chooses a fellow Luo to deputize him, automatically he will win. We only need a transparent election to win the election.
Okay. Yeah. We've been talking about Martha Karua, Kalonzo Musyoka, and so many other people, but there is this guy who we've been like we've not captured his impact in the national politics. He has been humble to Raila and his party leader, that is Uhuru Kenyatta, Peter Kenneth. Can he be the man?
Okay, Peter Kenneth stands a very high chance to become the deputy of Raila, because ever since Azimio was formed, he was one of the people from Mount Kenya who had been in the table, and he had followed Raila in every rally, including the rally that Raila went to the UK. He has been there, so he is also standing a chance. Despite the fact that he is not a mobilizer, he stands a chance. Yeah.
Okay. And we've been seeing the relationship between the deputy president and the president. Can you say that among the factors that will be considered while choosing the deputies, we may look at the loyalty to the president or to the party leaders? Can it be one of the factors they are going to look at?
Okay, in politics you cannot just trust anyone. So loyalty is a very key thing in politics. You only choose people who are loyal to you. You don't just choose someone because he is competent and he is able. One of the qualifications that must be there is loyalty. Yeah.
And is he loyal? Has he been loyal to the, I mean, he's in the Jubilee side, has he been loyal to the president?
Okay, I can say he has been loyal because when he was spoken to leave the gubernatorial race in 2017, to leave the race for one Mike Sonko, he left. Yeah, so that one shows his loyalty, and he never demanded for something in the government.
Okay, thank you. And in conclusion, the nominations are over and some are underway. But what can you say as a political analyst? Are they free and fair nominations all over the country? I'm talking about both ODM, Jubilee, and UDA.
Okay, one of the main things that citizens must understand is that political parties is like a farm. Political parties are like circles, and one person cannot join a party 10 years away from election, and another person joins the party 2 years to an election and then expects to be nominated. You see, the party has administrators, the party has cleaners, the party has officials, and you cannot disown someone that has been funding the party so as to maintain the administrators, to maintain the cleaners, and then you give someone who came into the party 1 year to the election simply because electioneering period was near. And one thing that the citizens must also know is that a nomination is not an election. A nomination is just to produce one person to stand for the party.
But let me cut you. But when you say nomination is not an election, but there are some areas we know when you get the ticket, automatically you are the leader at that point. For instance, in Nyanza, when you have an ODM ticket, count yourself in.
Okay, that is the mistake that we normally make. And that one is called fallacy of ignorantio elanchi. Because you believe in something which is not the reality. Because the reality is that a nomination is not an election. We first nominate and then we go to election. You can as well go with another ticket or even go independent, as this has been speculated in the constitution. And you can as well still win. But this issue that you want to depend on one party, even though you have not been loyal to the party, that one cannot be allowed. And I want to say that so far, it is only ODM that has done a credible and a transparent nomination. UDA was not supposed to have problems with the nomination because UDA is a very small party and it was formed some 8 months ago.
But we've seen in ODM areas like Nyanza, ticket being given for free, direct tickets, and people are complaining. What can you say? What do you mean by free election? And we're seeing some of the people complaining. Let's take an example of areas in Homa Bay. We see Evans Kidero complaining, Gladys Wanga being given direct ticket. Areas like in Siaya, Orengo being given direct ticket, and we had some potential candidates who are going to face him in nomination. What do you mean?
Okay, in Siaya, there is no competent person who can run for the gubernatorial seat apart from Orengo, who has been loyal to the party. Nicholas Gumbo was very parallel with ODM party in the last election. And now, in Homa Bay, Evans Kidero had been a governor in Nairobi. And Evans Kidero looted a public institution merely to death. So I don't think when you look at the transparency, one of the qualities that are in the constitution, I don't think if Evans Kidero was supposed to be chosen. And when you look at the consensus that was done between Wanga and Magwanga, I can say that one was fine because it was done in a very peaceful way. Yeah.
Okay, we come to the end of our show today, and continue channeling your questions and your views towards our show in our WhatsApp number, that is 0700138267. Until you have another time to talk about political matters, and good afternoon.